Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to fall asleep, the more awake you become? Have you ever observed that the more you chase happiness, the more elusive it becomes? Have you ever seen that the stronger your effort to control a situation, the more chaotic it becomes? There is something profound happening here. Something that goes against everything we have been taught about achievement, progress, and success. Something that reveals the very trying, the very effort, the very struggle to make life better, might be what keeps life from transforming naturally. What if the key to transformation is not in the trying, but in the stopping of trying? What if the secret to change is not in the effort to change, but in the complete cessation of all effort? Right now, as these words reach you, notice what your mind is doing. Is it trying to understand? Is it trying to agree or disagree? Is it trying to store this information for future use? And what would happen if, just for this moment, you stop trying to do anything with what you hear? What would happen if you simply watched? If this inquiry touches something in you, if you feel drawn to explore this more deeply, you are welcome to join us on this journey of understanding. We live in a culture of perpetual trying. Try harder. Try again. Try differently. Try smarter. The word try has become our religion, our philosophy, our way of life. From the moment we wake up, we are trying. Trying to feel better, trying to be more productive, trying to be happier, trying to be more successful, trying to be more spiritual, trying to be more present, trying to be more loving. We try to meditate properly. We try to eat correctly. We try to think positively. We try to be mindful. We try to let go. We try to accept what is. We even try to stop trying. But have you ever looked closely at what this constant trying does to you? Have you ever observed how it creates a subtle tension in your entire being? A sense that this moment is not enough, that you are not enough, that life is not enough as it is? The very act of trying implies that something is wrong with what is. It creates a division between what is and what should be. It establishes you as someone who is incomplete, inadequate, needing to become something else. When you try to be peaceful, you are saying that your current state of non-peace is unacceptable. When you try to be happy, you are rejecting your present experience of unhappiness. When you try to be present, you are actually absent from this moment because your attention is focused on trying rather than simply being here. This creates an endless loop. The more you try to escape what is, the more trapped you become in what is. The more you try to transcend your current state, the more fixated you become on that state. The more you try to transform, the more the transformer, the one who tries, gets strengthened. But there is something else happening beneath all this trying. Something that requires no effort whatsoever. Right now, your heart is beating. Are you trying to make it beat? Right now, you are breathing. Are you efforting to breathe? Right now, you are aware. Are you working to be aware? Life is happening through you continuously without your trying. Your body is digesting food, circulating blood, growing hair, healing wounds, fighting infections, all without any conscious effort from you. Intelligence is operating through you every moment, maintaining the incomprehensibly complex organism that you are. And this intelligence extends beyond your body. Watch how your hand reaches for a glass of water without you calculating angles and distances. Observe how the right word comes to you in conversation without you searching through a mental dictionary. Notice how you recognize a friend's face instantly without comparing it to stored images. There is a kind of effortless functioning that is your natural state. An intelligence that operates without the interference of trying. A spontaneity that flows when you are not blocking it with effort. Have you ever been so absorbed in something that you forgot yourself completely? Perhaps while watching a beautiful sunset, or listening to music, or in deep conversation with a friend. In those moments, were you trying to be absorbed? Were you working on being present? Or did presence simply happen when you stopped standing in its way? This is what we mean when we speak of stopping trying. It is not about becoming lazy or indifferent. It is about discovering what happens when you cease the constant interference of effort. It is about finding out what your natural intelligence looks like when it is not being managed by the trying mind. The mind finds this idea terrifying. But if I stop trying, nothing will happen. I will become stagnant. I will not grow. I will not achieve anything. This fear comes from a deep misunderstanding of what you are. You have been taught to identify yourself with the thinker, the doer, the one who tries. But look more closely. Who is aware of the thinker? Who observes the doer? Who watches the one who tries? You are not the trying mind. You are the aware space in which the trying mind appears. You are not the effort. You are the stillness from which effort arises and into which it returns. You are not the transformer. You are the unchanging awareness in which all transformation is perceived. And from this awareness, from this stillness, from this space that you are, action can arise that is completely different from the action that comes from trying. It is action without the actor, movement without the mover, change without the changer. This is how a flower blooms not through effort, but through an intelligent unfolding that knows exactly what to do and when to do it. This is how a river flows not through trying to reach the ocean, but through a natural movement that follows the path of least resistance. This is how your own body heals a cut not through your conscious effort, but through an innate wisdom that knows how to restore wholeness. When you stop trying to make your life work, you may discover that life knows how to work itself. When you stop trying to solve your problems, solutions may emerge from a deeper intelligence. When you stop trying to be someone, you may find out who you actually are. But let's be very practical about this. What does it mean to stop trying in daily life? How do you function in a world that seems to demand constant effort and striving? First, understand that we are not talking about stopping all activity. We are talking about stopping the effortful, struggling, forcing quality that usually accompanies activity. We are talking about finding action that arises from wholeness rather than from a sense of incompleteness. Think about how you walk. Do you try to walk? Do you effort to move one foot in front of the other? Do you concentrate on maintaining balance? Or does walking simply happen through you when you have the intention to move from one place to another? Walking is a perfect example of natural action. There is intention, there is movement, there is purpose, but there is no trying. The body knows how to walk. You don't have to manage the process. You simply allow it to unfold. Can you imagine approaching other activities in your life with this same quality? Approaching work not with the grinding effort to succeed, but with a natural engagement that knows what needs to be done. Approaching relationships not with the trying to be loved or to love, but with an openness that allows love to flow naturally. Approaching problems not with the struggle to find solutions, but with a relaxed attention that allows understanding to emerge. This doesn't mean becoming passive or careless. A river is not passive, it moves with tremendous power and purpose. But it doesn't struggle against the landscape. It works with what is there, finding the natural path forward. When you stop trying, you don't stop caring. You may actually care more deeply because your caring is not contaminated by the agenda of trying. You don't stop acting. You may act more effectively because your actions arise from clarity rather than from the confusion of effort. Have you ever noticed that the most profound changes in your life happen not when you were trying to change, but when you were simply living? When you were open, receptive, present to what was happening. Perhaps you fell in love when you stopped trying to find the perfect partner. Perhaps you found your calling when you stopped forcing yourself into careers that didn't fit. Perhaps you experienced peace when you stopped meditating to become peaceful and simply sat quietly without agenda. These were moments when transformation happened through you rather than by you. When change arose from the depth of your being rather than from the surface activity of trying. When life transformed itself because you stopped interfering with its natural intelligence. This is what we're pointing to. Not a technique of non-trying because that would just be another form of trying. Not a method of stopping effort because method implies effort. But a simple recognition of what is already happening beneath all your trying. Right now, awareness is present without you trying to be aware. Right now, aliveness is flowing through you without you efforting to be alive. Right now, this moment is perfect as it is without you working to make it perfect. Can you feel this? This ease that requires no maintenance? This peace that asks for no practice? This love that needs no cultivation? It has always been here. It is what you are when you are not trying to be anything else. It is your natural state when the trying mind comes to rest. If these words resonate with something deep within you, if you sense there is more to discover in this silence, this channel offers a sanctuary for such exploration. But the mind is cunning. It will even try to stop trying. It will make not trying into another project, another goal, another achievement. Now I must learn to not try. Now I must practice effortlessness. Now I must work on being natural. Do you see the trap? The moment you try to stop trying, you are trying again. The moment you effort to be effortless, you are back in effort. The moment you work on being natural, you have moved away from naturalness. So how does this trying stop? Not through more trying. Not through forcing it to stop. Not through any technique or method. It stops the way a spinning top stops, gradually, naturally, when its energy is exhausted. It stops the way a wave settles back into the ocean, not through effort, but through its own nature. It stops the way night gives way to dawn inevitably, when the time is right. You cannot make trying stop, but you can stop feeding it. You can stop believing that it is necessary. You can stop identifying yourself as the one who must try to make life work. And in that stopping, not a forced stopping, but a natural cessation, something else emerges. Something that was always there but obscured by all the trying. Something that knows exactly what to do without being told. Something that moves with perfect timing without consulting a clock. Some call this presence. Some call it being. Some call it the self. Names don't matter. What matters is the recognition that it is here, now, as the very ground of your existence. So what is being suggested? Simply this: for just a moment, stop. Stop trying to get somewhere. Stop trying to become someone. Stop trying to fix what you think is broken. Stop trying to understand these words. Just be still. Not the stillness of a stone, but the stillness of deep water. Not the stillness of death, but the stillness of life resting in itself. Not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness that is full of potential. In this stillness, watch what happens. Watch how life continues to function perfectly without your management. Watch how breath breathes itself. Watch how awareness is aware without your help. Watch how peace is present without your cultivation. And perhaps you will begin to see that transformation was never something you had to make happen. Perhaps you will discover that it is something that happens naturally when you stop preventing it. Perhaps you will realize that the life you have been trying so hard to create is already here, waiting for you to stop trying long enough to notice it. This is not a philosophy to think about. This is not a technique to practice. This is an invitation to direct recognition. An invitation to see what happens when trying stops. An invitation to discover what you are when you are not trying to be anything. In this very moment, without trying, without effort, without striving, watch life transform itself. Watch it bloom like a flower that has never read a book on how to grow. Watch it flow like a river that has never taken a course on finding the ocean. Watch it shine like a star that has never learned about light. This is your true nature. This is how you were meant to live. This is what becomes possible when you finally stop trying and simply are. If this understanding has touched you, if something within you recognizes the truth in these words, you have found a place where such recognition can deepen. This channel exists for those who are no longer interested in adding more knowledge to their minds, but who long to discover what remains when all knowledge is set aside. Here, we explore together what it means to live without the constant burden of trying. We investigate what happens when the seeking mind comes to rest. We share in the silence that reveals itself when words are no longer needed. This is not about building a following or creating a community around ideas. This is about recognizing what you already are. And if that recognition calls to you, if you feel drawn to this pathless path, we invite you to subscribe not to our channel, but to this quality of attention in your own life. Let each video be a doorway into your own direct understanding. Let each moment of silence be a return to what you have never actually left. Let this space serve not as entertainment for the mind, but as a mirror in which you can see your own true nature. If you found yourself present during these words, not trying to be present, but simply present, then perhaps this is where you belong. Not as a subscriber to content, but as a participant in the living understanding that transforms everything by changing nothing. The bell icon is there if you wish to be reminded. But the real reminder is always here, in this moment, in this awareness that needs no notification to be present. Welcome home to yourself.